thank all our peoples for tuning in for another episode of Keeping It a Buck. Today we're gonna do a little something different, man. We always try to bring you something different in different aspects, whether we dealing with the moms, whether we dealing with the players, the coaches. Today it's all about the trainers. In the building we got Dave Palladino from Impact Zone, Donald Massey from DM Football, Mike Nunziato from TNT,
the GOAT,
and Reggie Foxworth from ETS.
Big dog of the state.
Okay, so we also want to give a shout out to some other trainers, we couldn't get in contact with. Some of them contacted us last moment. Again, we don't have room for everybody, but we acknowledge what everybody bring to the table. So who we missing on there?
The infamous quarterback coach, Madi Williams.
Madi.
He reached out and he said that he wants to get on the next segment, definitely. I want to give a shout out to one of my guys, Good Daddy, Jeff Morton, man, good quarterback coach, man. I want to give a shout out to him. He's doing some things. He's growing in his little situation. I don't know what you got now.
You got my guy Chris Johnson with Complete QB, another big one. Also, I want to shout out my man Coach Jay for Better Future Fitness. Also, Prince Stewart with High Level Training. Ronnie up there in Randolph, speed coach, man, guys off the hook.
Shout out my man Mike Miles, who do the mind, body, and soul training. He got a good thing going over there. P's and Q's as well. They working out a lot on the field. They do a lot of running back and DB, training. Got a lot of dudes out there.
Also, Ira Guilford, out of 91 Octane, and my man, I cannot forget my guy. For Sports City Rap, Silk City Sports Rap, Beast out here, man. Beast DB coach out here, running the game right now.
Yeah, before we bring them in, man, we're gonna do our usual, the current events, man. We also got another thing going on the Keep It a Buck page, which is called Serving Notice, which we try to use with a lot of the unknown players, that we don't know yet, that haven't gotten offers yet. That's Beast. That just haven't burst on the scene yet because they're young. So we got the offers, and commitments coming up. We also going to talk about the 7-on-7 up at Rutgers and just the little things of what we saw at the camps, over the week that we was off. So first I'm going to start with the serving notice, man. I just want to thank all of the kids that participated in that. To participate in that, it don't take nothing but to send your highlight. If your highlight is real, we're going to put you up. We're going to interview you, and we're going to put you up so everybody can see you. So we had DeAndre Harrison, 6'2", 220, rising sophomore, who's currently at Moore Catholic. Found out, I thought he was with AG. What's Todrick's thing?
ASG.
Nah, which he did play.
That's a Brick City kid, though.
Exactly. Yeah. So I met him. I actually met him at a camp. And the Keep It a Buck page got him some exposure. He got invited to a camp at a school that I'm gonna leave nameless, and he can do whatever he want with that situation. Jasheen Brooks, you know what I'm saying? We interview him as well, rising sophomore athlete at PC.
Peace.
I love his work ethic, man.
Yes,
I love
sir.
his determination, man. And I really, really respect what he's doing as far as just grinding to get what he feel he deserve. Shout out to Michael and excuse my, if I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Ant Whistle, rising sophomore at PC as well, 6'3", 265. Demetrius Stevens, another ASG athlete that's at Piscataway. Beast running the rock, man. Expecting to see big things from him this year. Mike Taranzo of St. Joe's. Andre Epps of St. Joe's. The kid running 4.340. Did a great interview with him. Declan Bench, rising junior, 6'5", 300 at PC. And Cy Menard, 6'2", 250, rising sophomore D lineman. Again, these names only here because they participated. If you want to participate, man, just jump in the DM and we can get with it.
Cost you nothing.
So we also got the offers and commitments, man. This week we had 2 big commitments out of St. Peter's Prep from R.J. Oben, who chose Duke, and Ayer Asante.
Yes.
What did Asante choose?
Lehigh.
Chose Lehigh, academic school,
Lehigh.
high academic, damn near Ivy League.
Yep.
We also had a commitment from, I love commitments. Not commitment. Yeah, commitment. I love these type of athletes that get this shot, man. We have a basketball kid named David Ojobu from Blair Academy. The kid is a 3-star, first maybe second year ever really playing football. 35 offers already. Committed to Michigan, and Rashawn Gary was the main recruiter in that.
That was big.
Main recruiter in that. Rashawn Gary closed that deal. This kid, 6'5", Yo, the kid ran a 10.9 100. He's a 6'5", 270-pound DN. Wow. You know what I'm saying? African first year playing football, freak athlete, you know. So I love seeing those stories. Wow. Donald Williams committed to Rutgers out of Camden. Tyler DeVera from Bergen Catholic committed to Rutgers. And Bryce Nelms from West Orange committed to Pitt. Also go ahead, Nas.
That's big for Rutgers, man.
Yeah, Rutgers on the move. I love to say y'all name.
And I just saw I was about to say Shiano, but Chris Ash. I seen Chris Ash up at the dungeon up at Irvington building with the Smokester. So they might be linking up something real soon. And Smoke did say he building to the hunt. So let's see how this all work out.
That's what's up. Jersey in the building. Also, man, we had that 7-on-7 at Rutgers, one of the biggest 7-on-7s in our region. Action packed, man. You know, we had a Final Four of St. Peter's Prep, ASG, who was led by a 14-year-old quarterback.
Yes.
You know, ASG, St. Peter's Prep, Cardinal Hayes, and who was the fourth?
Bergen.
And Bergen in the semifinals.
Let me tell you something. Nah, bruh. Y'all, if you was at Rutgers and you was at that St. Peter's Bergen Catholic 7-on-7, that was a high level 7-on-7. I'll tell you that right now. They was going at it like it was state championship. And I watched that Cardinal Hayes team was very strong, full of athletes. You know, a lot of elites out there, whatever. But
so would you say like that was a good preview of what we wanted? Because we know that's bad blood there.
That was
Hansen
bad.
said that he didn't bite his tongue how he feel about Bergen, and he can't wait to see him. Masai felt the way about that. You know what I'm saying? We haven't had any Bergen kids up here yet. Nothing against Bergen. We love to have their kids up here. But we definitely know St. Peter's Prep is not feeling y'all. So that right there, I didn't see it, but Nas saying it was action-packed, man. Was that like a preview?
Bruh, the parents,
minus the pads?
The parents, the coaches, that was a high-level game. They wanted that. They wanted that. Bergen, it's something about Bergen. No disrespect. I love them like a fat kid love cake, but when they start cheering and going crazy, you just don't want to see them win. I'm just going to be 100. They come with a group of people that's like reckless. Like, it ain't, you know, they
call them
reckless.
The crazies, right?
They really crazy, bro. But, yo, man, I tell you this much. I gotta shout out my boy Zaire Miller, which is he's my son, Scoot and Pooh. He tore it up, and I'm a proud father just by watching him do what he did. The boy really showed out. They got another kid out there named.
Hold on, before you go on New York, New Jersey, y'all need to understand how hard it was for him to say that. You know, he don't like talking about his kid up here. He didn't want his kid to come up here, and shout out to his kid because his kid don't even want to come up here. I tried to get him up here. He said that he ain't earned it yet. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. So for Nas to even shout his son out, it ain't daddy ball. The kid is really, really showing promise. That's 2 straight 7-on-7s where he contribute big. I mean, you know, it's 7-on-7, but it's a good look at where his confidence level is going into this season, and the kid playing like he an upperclassman.
He been working hard too, man.
Yeah, shout out to you.
He been banging. He been working hard, but like I told you before, he was ready last year. You know what I'm saying? He was ready. But I'm proud to see how he's been developing, because sitting him out like that has gave him that hunger, man. And watching how he's working, he's been moving, he's been training, he's been putting in the work, man. So I'm excited to see little Scoot and Pooh myself.
So Nas, what did you see, man? Like
I'll be honest with you. I wanted to see could he get vertical with his speed, and him been training with Ronnie, and he did a 360 change, and I tell you, he caught every pass that came his way.
Who he been training with?
He been training with Ronnie. This guy Ronnie with the speed. And but it was another kid, man, I gotta shout him out. His name is Shazir Civilian. And this kid is like probably the next Will for them. But let's bring out our let's bring out the trainers now. You ready?
We got Nunziato in the building.
If you from
TNT.
Jersey and you don't know these guys, you must be on. We
got Dave Palladino, Impact Zone. We got Mr. Reg Foxworth, ETS in the building, running back specialist, and Donald Massey, Mr. Driven, DM does it all. I can't wait to hear what this guy talking
Yo,
about.
thank y'all for coming through, fellas. Really appreciate y'all. Donald, man, like I work to keep it a buck page a lot, man. I see, you do a lot with the youth. You just came from a college tour with them.
Yes.
So we do our best. And again, I keep throwing this out there. We here for everybody. We don't have no favorites. If you doing something and you DM us and you want your flyer out there, we put it out there. And Donald's one of the few that's been using that platform along with his own. We like to thank you for that, man. Also thank you for what you do for those kids with that college tour. How did that go?
That was great, man. We got to visit 5 schools in 5 days. You talking about kids from the inner city? That was a blessing and a half. Okay, so we went down. We visited Bowie State, visited Howard University. We worked out at University of Maryland, worked out at Temple University, and worked out at Monmouth. So like I said, I took 16 kids, 2 passenger vans, rolled out. It didn't cost them much, but I mean, what they got in return, like I said, it costs, man, I was pleased. That was the blessing and then some.
How long you been doing this?
Been doing DMs for about, let's say maybe 6 years now, 5-6 years.
So while we on you right now, just tell the viewers, and I would like this to pass around who you are.
Okay.
What's your business, your company?
No doubt.
How long you been doing this? Of course. Do you have any athletic sports background? If you do, what you did, just explain that.
All right. Well, basically, my name is Donald Massey. Call myself the mayor of Monsterville. That's DM, Driven Minds. You know what I mean? Basically, I've been doing DM for, like I said, about 5-6 years now. All started basically from just working with the inner city youth, trying to show them more, because if I think they see more, they want more. So that's basically the whole goal behind driving the mind. Kids pretty much, like I said to you before, neck down, gifted like none others. But from the neck up is where the problem lies. So that's why I figure if I drive their mind to the greatness that's inside of them, they'll get that. Athletic background, played high school football at Malcolm X Shabazz. It was a good run. And after that, party time for me. Pretty much. What was the last thing I think we had?
Well, what inspired you to do this?
What inspired me basically was not seeing kids achieve what I know that they could achieve. When you work with Little League football, like Nas, I know for example, you see kids and they just athletically gifted, and you know that they deserve opportunities to play on next levels, and you know that they worth that. When you had them, they honor roll students. So what happens when they get to high school? So that's when I started bridging the gap. So let's do something different, and that's when DM came in.
All right, my name is Reggie Foxworth, co-owner, head trainer at Explosive Training Systems, ETS. I've been doing this for 7 years now. I started part-time with EJ Bartell. EJ is a college coach now, so he had to leave it alone.
Shout out EJ.
And I took over the business when he left. My inspiration, man, I've just been doing this since I was young. I graduated from Patterson Catholic, played high school ball at Patterson Catholic, running back. I didn't have the grades to go D1, so I went Division II. I had to settle for D2. Played there for 2 years, blew out my knee. Then I started training. So that's when all the training started, because my boys like, Reg, we need you to work out with us. I wasn't going to work out with them because I wasn't going to do the same workouts that football players did. I was just lifting weights. So that's where my inspiration came from. That's how it all started. And then, just the love for the game, the love for fitness, all put together,
Beautiful.
Made it happen.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Dave Palladino, man. Mr. Impact himself.
How you doing? My name's Dave Palladino. I'm the owner of Impact Zone in Norwood, New Jersey. It's a 45,000 square foot fitness center, full service fitness center, and a sports performance facility. We have a basketball court there, full turf, and we'll also piggyback off of Performance Health. It's a sports rehabilitation center for the athletes. I've been doing it for about over 20 years. I'm the old guy in the room, so we already went over that, gentlemen. My passion for it, I'm also a lifelong martial artist. I have multiple rankings in different arts, fought most of my life. And my drive is from, I guess, the martial arts. I was working with my students, and that kind of turned over into the fitness industry, and I took it out from there. So I was a personal trainer at first, which I guess every one of these gentlemen started. We all started in the trenches as a personal trainer, and I grew into fitness management, and then I just wanted to open my own spot up to, bring in all trainers and facilitate what I learned and give it back to the community. So it's a pretty cool place. We service a lot of professional athletes, a lot of youth athletes, just like these gentlemen do. So
Nice.
where
You play any sports yourself?
I played baseball. I excelled in baseball.
Nice.
High school, long time ago, guys. 85. so
Nice.
so,
Okay.
yeah, so
Okay. Nunziato, talk to me, man.
Fellas, thanks for having me. Mike Nunziato here, owner of T&T Training. We got locations over in Paramus and Pompton Lakes. So I've been doing this for 13 years now. I played football at Monmouth University, and the passion from that was pretty much because I hated the strength program. I was all the guys were actually coming to me for workouts when I was a sophomore, and I realized I was actually pretty good at it. So I actually got certified then and kind of kept rolling. And when I graduated, started out as a trainer like the rest of these guys and kind of built myself, like Dave said, through management and, got certified. I'm certified through CSCS, which is Certified Sports Strength and Conditioning Coach, and then by the USAW. So I spent a lot of time in the school and getting the proper certifications to teach these guys and these young kids the best way to train and kind of put science behind it. But
Yeah, Mike, I promised someone that I would actually tell you thank you, man, because this past, December, the Spring Valley Football League, the Hornets, the Little League, they went to Florida, and I reached out to you. You have nothing to do with that program, never did or anything, and pretty much, we just had conversation in Crossing, and, you made a nice donation to help those kids, and many of those kids who don't have a way to get anywhere. Get down there. And the president there wanted me, when I told him you was coming, he wanted to make sure that I told you that. They really appreciate that, man.
that's awesome.
Man.
Thank you.
That's dope.
Hey, Nuns, man. I mean, we I guess we can go down the list from me to him to Nas to the contributions you've been to youth programs,
Yes.
and to Little League, to high school, to my sons that's in college who still will come up to your facility and train for free. Like, how you make money? Like, I mean, because you're so giving, brother. And I mean, it's just, we appreciate that, man. This is why we wanted to touch on this, man, so that people could really know the importance of you guys, these trainers, and then how you guys give, man. DM what you doing, Reg. I could reach out to you and listen, I need to do something here with Brick City, whatever. You like, all right, no money. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
people don't know these things. Just getting to meet you, Dan. I know we're going to do some fun stuff together down the road later, you know what I mean? And I know your heart as well is good as well. So it's just so beautiful for you guys to come together and have this show like this, man. I want to know also from you, Nuns, like who you worked with, through the past, who you working with now that we should know of, and who you see down the road that's going to be special.
Of course.
Right.
The biggest guys I had was Jabril Peppers and Rashawn Guerra, two big guys that I worked with at high school. They'll pop in here and there. It was fortunate to work with those guys because they were so blessed and they trusted me, even when I was younger in my career, that I was going to give them the right proper training. So those guys are also still kind of keep in contact with them. Off the top of my head, a guy right now is Andrew Arjuna. He's going to Joe's next year. He's going to be a quarterback. I got him working with our college kids. Not big time college guys, and he's keeping up. And his mental aspect of it's really coming along, and I think he's going to be a big time player in the next few years, if not next year alone.
Nice. Talk to me, Dan Palladino.
Dave.
Excuse me.
No problem, brother.
Yes, Dave.
Pro wise, a lot of pros. So Dylan Patenta, CC Sabathia. I got Kyle Anderson from the San Antonio Spurs in camp right now. Kerry Wynn from the Giants. I got right now with me Jay Bromley, just got signed with the Saints. Devin Fuller. A bunch of pros.
I seen
coming in
Fournette
and
up
out,
there too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was up there. He came in for a session. He did well. It's the Rock Nation Sports. They pop a bunch of guys in and out, come by. Youth wise, you guys know him. Donovan Salters.
Donnie Bosco.
Yeah, he's a great kid. He's got great family support.
Yes.
He's really got bright future ahead. I also train CC Sabathia's son, Little C. He's
Is
going
he-
to Don Bosco.
He's going. I thought he was at IMG.
I mean, he's going. No, he's going to Bergen
Bergen
Catholic.
Catholic,
My
yeah.
bad. So he's going to Bergen Catholic next year.
Baseball.
Yeah, baseball. He plays basketball. He's a really good baseball
Yeah, we
player.
had him. He played with us for football.
For
Out
football.
in Spring Valley.
Oh
years
yeah,
ago.
he's a monster. He's
How tall is he now? I know he should be
he's
big
taller
now.
than me already. So he's got his father's genetics.
Mm-hmm.
He's taller than me already. So
Amber's not short either, though, so
Yeah.
he's got it good on both ends.
yeah, he's a good athlete. He's those two guys, those two cats are, and obviously my AWA program with the wrestlers. I have a lot of state champs in that room, so that's a lot of good youth there.
Dave, could you talk about Billy Lopez,
Coach Lopez.
Coach Lopez, who trained with you? How did you meet him, and how did he get down with the impact zone?
So I'll tell you how I met Coach Lopez. He will deny this adamantly, but I hit a home run off of him in 1984.
Wow.
We won the BPSL championship. He will deny that till the end. But that's how I met him. I know him for over 35 years. I also helped train his son. His son is a green belt in our dojo, the Bob Long School of Self-Defense. So I helped train his son, now one of his twins. That's how I know him. And when I opened up the spot, I said, you got to come up there and do your thing. And you guys know him. He's
Crazy. That's my guy.
He's the best, man. So.
A question I'd like to know: with training athletes on many different levels like that, what's the difference? Like, or do you see sometimes where you see like high school kids and you're like, wow, like he's performing like this pro I just trained or whatever? Do you see that, or is it like a clear drop off? Like, what do you notice is the biggest difference between training a pro athlete and a high level high school athlete?
Well, obviously, the level is completely epically different. The younger high school athlete, you could see that they have the tools that's kind of unbridled and not really matured and developed yet. But, you also could see that there are certain kids like Donovan, his attributes, Little C, the physical qualities, and also some of them are mentally more prepared than others. They're a little bit mature for their age. The professional athletes is just on a different level. Just their explosiveness, their pure strength, their size, so that's the difference.
Okay, Nuns, I want to ask you the same thing because I'm curious with like someone like Jabril, whose times were somewhat better in high school than they were at the combine. And I know some pros come back to work for the combine at your gym. Do you notice like a huge difference between him at high school, not at Michigan, and dudes going into the pros or in the pros?
Well, Jabril specifically, it was just his weight. He was heavier. You take him down 10 pounds, he's running those times again. What also helped him a lot, he ran track. And I always encourage all the high school guys to run track because that's something I didn't do and I wish I did, but I'm seeing it, impact these kids greatly. Getting on the track and just running. All right, you can still get your strength days in, you can do both. But getting these kids out there and running 100s, 200s, even 400s, besides, what it does for your legs and your speed development, mentally, you're going up and competing someone running. So you're on the football field, you feel confident that, hey, I raced that guy, I'm faster than him. Why am I not faster than him now? For Jabril, I think it was just a weight thing for him. But, other than that, what was the...
My question was, working with him in high school, did you see a huge difference between some of the other pro guys that you work with? Because I'm trying to look at like an elite high school athlete, how he compares to someone who's already a pro. So like he named Donovan Salters and those guys, those are like kind of babies still.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like a thoroughbred, like him.
So, a kid like that, and I tell even, I'm sure Dave knows, with some of his pro guys, your goal is don't mess them up, right? They're already freaks, right? Don't hurt them. Don't try to get cute, as they call it, cute with the programming where you're trying to do something that they're not accustomed. All of a sudden, now they're developing different patterns, or they're running different, or they're developing strengths in areas they don't really need. So with kids like that and a kid like Rashawn and even the kid Siriano, the wrestler, I continue to do kind of basic programming with those guys when they were in high school because they're already at the top of their game. So you want to elevate those kids, but you also don't want to hurt them, because they're already freaks at what they do. So a lot of those kids I scaled back, and I was more of just let them trust me. And they talk to me about how they're feeling. So communicating with the athlete, like, all right, hey, do you guys like this? How you feeling after this workout? I mean, that's half the battle with programming. There's a million different stuff you can run with kids, but it doesn't work for everybody. So those higher level guys, you got to communicate. If me and 2 other kids do the same program for 6 weeks, we're all going to feel a little different. So just communication with their body is the key for those high level guys for me.
Yeah, at that level, if they're at that level, at an elite level, if they're like a Soriano or Peppers like that, you're there to enhance what they already bring to the table. You're not there to change it. So you don't want to touch their programming at all.
Talk to me, Mr. Massey. Talk to me about some of the guys you've been blessed to work with, and talk to me.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess the best guy we work with right now is pretty much Rasul Douglas. He's pretty much was, like you said, just a gifted kid. When you kind of don't have to do much, you just kind of just give it to him, let him eat, and he eats it up real good. As far as a kid that's coming up, I probably got a 2020 sophomore, 6'4", 300 pounds, Antonio Williams. He's going to be a force. He's starting to take to, this season he took to working out like none other. And I think guys on my side know, we talked about some other people, that's the hardest part sometimes, is getting a guy to want to take to wanting to be an athlete, take to working out and do those extra things. So Antonio is definitely one of my guys that I kindly say. And I guess if I had to call out a senior, the best senior I probably got on board right now would be Michael Bright Jr. Michael Bright Jr. is just going to be phenomenal, man. He clocked the 4.540 over at the Fordham camp. He is 6'4". He's only 200-some pounds, but he can throw up the house. I got him lifting 320 right now on the bench.
And he's gonna be. You see his dad. He's gonna be way bigger. He's got the room for that.
Definitely gonna be. I mean, that's the fear for some reason. I guess you're talking about colleges and what they're looking at. It's not always so much academics. This kid academically got it, but of course it's also what you look like. It's the size, it's the weight, it's the brill. So, with Michael is the eye test don't really work for some guys, but baby, let me tell you something. There's more than meets the eye, like they say in Transformers. He will bring the dog out, and he gets you.
So, Nuns, this guy Mike he's talking about, I can help you understand who this kid is. This kid is Joe Bacchus all over again in a 6'4" body.
Man, the Reaper.
You look at what's inside. Like, you can't measure. Like, you'll look at him and like he's 6'4", and he'll fill out eventually. His dad's a big guy. His mom's got a nice height. He'll fill out eventually, but he got the thing inside that you can't measure him. And I was so glad when he went over to Shabazz to get with you guys, because I wanted to see him on that stage. Like, he quietly led New Jersey in sacks last year, and no one even knew because he was at Passaic Valley. Passaic Valley.
But you ain't got to worry about that, baby.
Reg, I want to know some of the guys that you trained when they was babies and probably made it, and guys that you probably train now that's high level.
That's up and coming.
Yeah.
Some of the guys I've trained, Kareem Walker, Essex County, Hasis DeBose,
Virginia.
Jordan Morant,
that's
Bergen
a big
County,
one.
Bergen Catholic. Taquan Robinson, I work with. These are all high school kids that's either going or went to college. But I got some up-and-coming kids that's really doing it like a rocket. I have Luke Tucci. I don't know if you guys heard of him. Well, yeah, you heard of him, Brick City.
Yeah.
You heard him, yeah. And a bunch of young kids, that's really putting it out there, that's really going to be something.
What's one of the backs that you train now that's like elite in the state right now?
Oh, the big dog, Jalen Berger. JB. Jalen Berger is a hard worker. He hasn't changed a bit. He sticks to the same hard working routine. I just love working with that kid. Great kid.
Speaking of hard work, man, because you look at a kid like Jalen Berger, right?
Right.
And I watch how he trains, and it just seems like he don't lay down, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did you say about work ethic? Is that and that could go for anybody can answer. Like, is that genetically inclined, or do people like you just work hard? Like,
absolutely not. I think work ethic is more of a belief. Like, you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe that you can get it done. So if you don't believe that you can get it done, that you're going to get up early in the morning and get this workout in, you don't believe you can do it, then it's not going to happen.
Well, I want to ask in regards to that question, what he's saying, like, genetically, because I was telling Nas, he sent me a clip of his son, and I didn't know who his son was because I seen some kid flying. And I've watched his son a couple times, and he never appeared as fast as he was this time. Only thing difference I noticed now is I've been watching him work like a dog all off season on that. And my thing was I always felt like speed was either something you was blessed with or you're not going to get it. As trainers, can you say that you could actually take a kid with average speed and make him faster? Absolutely. Or do you just have to have it? And how do you do that?
I believe so. You have to work on their technique. It's all about technique when it comes to speed and opening the hips up. Like, you got to get the knees up. You notice some kids, they run and the stride is short. You got to get that stride open, and you got to get their legs stronger. With strength and stretching ability, you'll be able to get faster. And technique. It's all about running for them.
I got a big question. I want to know, what's you guys take on Jersey football now? And I want to hear from everybody. What's up, Nuns?
Let Nuns go first.
So we were talking about earlier. Obviously we got kids everywhere. There's dudes in the publics and the parochials. We were talking about how we thought as Jersey we were better 2, 3, 4 years ago. As teams, we're especially in the parochial division, they're going out and we're beating up high-level Power 5 schools in every state you can imagine. Now I feel like we're struggling a little bit. So I think the last 2, 3 years, I think Jersey's been down as compared to what it was, right? Straight up. That's my feeling. I don't know if it's a lot of kids jump from school to school or, they're not used to playing. But we were better 3, 4 years ago, 100%.
I think to that point, what's happened recently is the emergence of other schools. When we were around, Paramus Catholic was the new school on the block, sucking in a lot of talent. DePaul kind of, they beat everybody except, the Big North. And, St. Peter's was St. Peter's, Bosco was Bosco, Joe's is Joe's, and Bergen was down. Now you have Pope John on the scene. DePaul has stepped it up majorly, Paramus has still got some talent. Like, it's really always been 4 schools and then a possible. Now it's like so spread out. And then Publix. Look at Irvington. They snatching kids back. Yeah. So like I think now what's happening is the talent is just spreading out when it used to be saturated in one area. And within that one area, at one point it was all at Bosco and everybody got what's left. Then it was at, Bosco and PC. Like Joe's has kind of always been like a good program. But Bosco had like all Americans. Then PC had that era where it's like all Americans. St. Peter's always did that over there. But now you look at, and DePaul had those kids that, get high college offers and all that. But recently you got Kareem, all American, the Bulls. In my opinion, he was the best receiver in the 16 class. And I'm somebody that loved Donald Stewart and I thought he was up there and all that. But I felt like he was the most underrated. Like, I looked at Chris Partridge like, you can't be as good as everybody giving you credit if you don't notice that this kid is a grown man amongst men and you didn't offer him, and so I got kind of ran off tangent. But now I looked at a DePaul team last year and kids that never got mentioned. I seen kids standing like 6'6" from like Staten Island somewhere. They're all over the place now. Yeah. Every team is loaded. This is why the games is tight like that. When we were there, beat Bergen by 50. We watched a game where Brill ran for 300 yards in the first half against Joe's. Yeah. Like, that doesn't happen no more spread out. So I don't think Jersey is taking a step back. I think that the whole Jersey as a whole is stepping up, and now it's spreading. It's spreading. That's just my opinion.
I think the talent's there. I think the talent is there. I think the talent has always been there. I think the talent's on the rise. What you brought up was the dilution of the talent spread out throughout all the schools. So that's, yes, I agree with you. We were just talking about in the room. If you're an upcoming 8th grader, your parents are jockeying position to find out, okay, so Bosco, so let's take a position of running back. Okay, so that kid, all right, he's a sophomore, so my son coming in might not be a good fit there. Let's just go shop him and see who the running back is over at Bergen. Bergen's got a running back who's a junior. Let's go shop him at Joe's. Maybe he's a good fit at Joe's. So they're looking to fit their kids in where they have the best potential to play, and that's diluting the schools. Yes, I agree. But the talent, I believe, is on the rise. I mean, there are a lot of good kids. Like we were saying, the sophomore class coming in, there's a lot of talent out there in Jersey.
I would go to the East Side and Kennedy Thanksgiving game, and I would see talent like just I was a kid seeing talent out of this world. I would, hear about Passaic games and Newark games. So the talent has always been there, but it's just like the social media, the internet has pushed it So now you're seeing what we have to offer, really. You know what I mean? And then, of course, us as trainers, take a good kid and make them great, take an average kid and make them good. So
I'm going to say this, man, and I was trying to make a point earlier, man, about the difference between over here in the South, because, I think me and you might have talked about this a few times, right? How this, and I'm not hating on the South or nothing like that, but the South, being that they get the good weather all year round, they kids are constantly working and practicing all year. Whereas that over here, we get that cold and the kids is home. They on the video game. So we didn't have these training facilities like y'all got now.
Right.
The first one I've ever heard was Parisi. I mean, do any of you guys come from that lineage, like Parisi's? Not just saying you work with them, but or under them, but I mean, was they the first training facility around us? Then came everybody else? Because I know, again, there was none of that going on. And when Parisi came, then you start seeing a little bit of, people coming out. Then Tess came. I seen Will Hill working with Tess. And so once the training facilities start coming about, you start to see a lot more kids starting to come out, Kushner coming out of Bergen. So it was like, now you guys, we got training facilities all over, and the kids they shining. Yeah. Jersey is a picking pool right now for talent. And again, that's why, I think this was important to do this show with y'all, because, we talk about complete athlete. So we talk about mentoring, we talk about academics, and we got to talk about training. You know what I mean? That's the completion right there. Yeah. You know what I mean? So again, like I feel that, right now that we got training facilities like you guys on board, and you giving back the way you do. This is why I see Jersey really rising, and I'm fully about this Jersey movement completely, man. I'm about the Rutgers movement. If they can get it together and start building and connecting more with the coaches and stuff like that over here, let's get it, man. I want to be like Luke and them with that Miami, how they did Miami, man. We could do.
So what's your take on Rutgers right now?
Yeah,
what's my take on Rutgers right now? I got to answer that first.
What's the question?
Nah,
I'd rather go to Rutgers.
Because I'll be honest with you, if I was Rutgers, I'll be beating down y'all doors.
Yeah,
it'll start with the trainers first. I'll be on y'all because I know that's what my high level kids that I want, that I probably can't get, is actually training with you guys. So I'll be beating down y'all and trying to do anything to get you guys up. And
Nas, that's called a consult fee. You're giving Rutgers information that they should be paying for.
Okay.
Well, I believe Rutgers is a great school. I mean, great programming. It just depends on the kid. If the kid thinks he can stay here and he want to be around family, then it's fine. But if he want to get away and experience something different, maybe different weather, because it's cold here.
Weather's huge.
Very cold.
That's a great
weather
point.
is huge.
No, you have a kid that's really, really good, and he gets an offer from Rutgers, or Miami jumps in and says, "I have palm trees and warm weather all year long."
On that business.
I mean,
you can't challenge that one.
It's tough.
Okay.
Yeah, between that and the wins, because now you got to think we all deal with kids that will jump ship if you ain't winning. So Rutgers is not winning. Weather. It makes it difficult. Makes it real difficult to recruit. But again, you gotta know where those guys are. It's guys all over. Now, if you just looking in the big North for a guy, well, you're going to probably miss out on a dude like Amir Marset that's at Iowa right now that's going to tear it up.
Or that DB at Westside.
Right, or Darius Goodman. Sitting there with about 5 offers and you're wondering, what are you looking for, Rutgers?
They won't touch him.
It's and Darius Goodman, 6'2", 6'3", I believe.
Next Cam Chancellor or something.
It's interesting. So I think for me, I've always said this about Rutgers. I mean, at one point, and there's never a knock on the big North schools. I have kids that go up that way as well. But at one point, when they was at their highest was when you went to Piscataway and you picked up an Anthony Davis. And then you went to New Rochelle and you picked up a Ray Rice. And you started getting those homegrown boys. And those homegrown boys, you know what? They take it a little differently. They look at Rutgers and they say, you know what? At Rutgers, I can excel. At Rutgers, it's like I'm home. It's easy. But when you look at a guy from the big North, like let's say, wasn't the school that played at Michigan last year? PC. So now if I'm at PC and I play at Michigan and I'm at the big house, I see it for myself. And why am I going to Rutgers? Because I have seen it already. Like I said before, if you see more, you want more. So now you see the big house, you say, man, the only thing I can measure this to is going to Happy Valley. And now you're looking at Rutgers like, hey, man, thanks for the offer or thanks for the opportunity, but it's just not in my vision. You know, you got to think about that.
See, Naz, I'm with you. With these coaches have to build relationships with us. You know, I have more relationship with a coach from LSU than I do from any of the Rutgers guys. You know, and that's down the block. And 3 years ago, they actually sent a letter. Now it's an old coaching staff to my gym about putting kids on websites and stuff. So I'm like, this is crazy to me. You know, like, where did this come from? You know, I think it deserved a phone call. And I had a lot of kids from Rutgers at the time. So why would me at a training facility want to support those kids to go to those schools? You know, so I agree with the relationship. It's all about relationships. You know, but at the end of the day is I can't fault a kid for wanting to go to nice weather or get himself out of a town, you know, get himself away from situations, family, whatever it may be, you know, to better himself. You know, I'm like me, I was telling these guys, I want to move to Scottsdale. I can't tell a kid, Coach, I want to go to warm weather. I want to go to Cali. So it's hard for me to say, no, go to Rutgers when that's a kid's dream. You know, but when a kid wants to support and go to Rutgers, you know, I'll definitely support them. But I think as a staff, they got to build more relationship with coaches, trainers, families in the area, and be at these events and things that we do. You know, because I don't really see it. I see more from other schools that are 5, 6, 7 hour plane rides away.
Yeah,
You know?
and going to get a running back that's in Florida.
Yeah.
Why you going to get a running back out of Florida? If a running back is legit in Florida, he gonna go to Florida or Miami.
Yeah.
Why you getting him from Florida to come
scraps.
to Rutgers and play football or be a running back?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But again, I want to speed up a little bit, and I want to talk about a little bit about what we hear about also about fitness. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about fitness as well, because we got some people that want to know a little bit about that. Got my man on the left of me, Nas, getting in his fitness thing.
That's what's
He's starting to trim down a little bit. You know,
Nas
Nas done lost 40 pounds now. He done lost a quick 40.
Y'all see?
But I want to ask. Okay, so what do you tell a client? What do you tell a client to do, he or she, how to burn fat and how to gain muscle gain? Like, what do you tell them, you know, how to burn fat and how to, you know, gain muscle?
To keep it as simple as possible, you know, it's about making small lifestyle changes, right? So, you know, client comes in depending, you know, where they're at. Is there any injuries? That's the first assessment. You know, and the number two is you want to get them on some type of resistance training depending on what their age is. You know, so some type of weightlifting, and then start slowly cleaning up their diet. So if they're having 5, you know, sugary drinks in a week, cut it down to 4. Next week 3, next week 2. You know, so making these small changes. Because if you say, okay, you're going to go under 30 carbs, you're going to do 5 days a week lifting, you're going to do, you know, hill work on Saturday, you know, chances are they're not going to maintain that lifestyle. You know, so small little changes. It's just someone walking on the street, no matter whether athlete, adult, just trying to get, you know, burn fat and get in shape.
And it varies on the individual. So I wouldn't give the same advice to Nas as I'm going to give to somebody who's maybe.
Could you talk about your advice that you gave to Sean Pecos and what
Sean
he's going to
Pecos
get down?
I have a
All right, go ahead. You
so
can
I have
talk
a
about
fail-safe system for Sean. It's called duct tape. I told him to take a piece and just
Hold on, Coach.
put it.
Real quick, tell us who Sean Pecos is.
Sean Pecos is he's a friend and a client, and he is one of the guys from Rock Nation Sports. He's like the recruiter, one of the big recruiters for Rock Nation Sports. So really good guy to know. Great guy. But he came in, you know, I knocked off 50 off. I think, he like around 40-something pounds. And that was lifestyle changes, Sean. But the problem with a cat like that is he has to take the athletes and wine and dine them and take them out. So his lifestyle, you know, he's always eating, you know, that's what he has to do to get some of these guys to sign for Rock Nation. So I just told him, you know, if you're having 3 cheeseburgers a night, cut it down to 2. You don't want to tell somebody, again, go cold turkey, because they're just never going to do that. They're just going to be completely resistant to that. You know, they're going to be like, screw this. But they will be receptive to, all right, maybe I could cut out that 1 sugar drink. Maybe I could cut out that 1 burger. And then, you know, as it goes on, you say, okay, look, we're here now, and now let's like really like clean it up. They have to do resistance training. Cardio is not going to do it. Everybody thinks I'm going to just run on the treadmill and, you know, I'm going to just get in shape. I'm going to, you know, without resistance training added in there, it's not going to work. You definitely have to do resistance training.
I want to talk about resistance training because the viewers want to know what that is. But I want to also speak about what you just said. I sometimes find myself in that where I get into this mode when I'm getting into training mode and I cut everything out like immediately. Like I'm stop this. And I find myself that, sugar is an addiction as well, and sometimes, the body craves for that. And I get crazy when I ain't eating my sugars and stuff. And they looking at me like, what's wrong with you? Because I ain't getting no sugars. But I shut everything off. But the minute I eat one cookie, I done left it alone for 3-4 months. When I eat one cookie, I eat the pack. So that's what, like, it's like what you're saying, gradually taking off as opposed to just shutting it off immediately. I shut off immediately when I need to just gradually just say, you know what, I'm gonna have me a cookie today and just keep on, opposed to not having no cookies for all month.
The figure is about 97% of the people who completely go cold turkey and shut down will relapse. 1,000%.
Yes.
You notice that Oprah Winfrey was doing this quite often. You would see her go all the way down on all these fad diets that she was doing, and bang, she'd be back up. All the way down and bang, back up. Because people just can't sustain that type of eating perfectly clean after they were eating their sugar, their cookies, their hamburgers, and all of a sudden they said, okay, here it is. This is your pre-made meals from this company, and this is what you're going to get. And then in the middle of the night, you start getting the sweats, and you start going to the cabinets, and the one cookie leads into the 3 cookies, the 4 cookies, the 5 cookies.
The pack.
It's just not going to happen.
It's the pack. I done did the pack. What is resistance training, though?
So resistance training is just basically your weight training using, it could be bands, that's resistance training. It could be weights. It could be even aquatic training through the water. Anything that applies resistance to the muscle and creates the actin and myosin buildup of it. So that's resistance training. That's what you want to do.
What about a parent or someone that's home and has a hectic schedule with work, children, and so forth, can't really get out to gyms? What do they do at home? Anybody? Like what some of the things they could start with at home to start get themselves, getting in shape?
Well, there's plenty of videos, like YouTube videos out there of home workouts. Like, for instance, my wife, she doesn't go to the gym. She turns into this guy, and he does these dances on YouTube, and she stays in perfect shape as long as she's eating well.
That's the key. That's what I want. That's what I want to talk about. I'm glad you want to get to that part right there.
Yeah.
Like it's the eating part.
It's all about nutrition.
Okay, so if a person wants to get fit, right? In the order of importance, what are they doing in terms of what is the workout, the rest, the eating? What's more important in order of importance? Like what you say first?
Nutrition.
So nutrition.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
So nutrition weighs how much in your diet?
80. In your work, 80%.
80%.
Yeah, 80%.
So it's about 80% of nutrition. Workout is 10%.
Yeah.
And the other what we rest is about the other 10.
Yeah.
Do we all? I mean, that's about fair.
Yeah, I mean, nutrition is huge. It's you can work out 7 days a week. If you're not putting the right stuff in your body, you're not going to get results until you build that base. If you have a base that you're fit, you can kind of go and cheat up a little bit, and your body's your metabolism is used to, hey, I'm eating 4,000 calories for my life. I'm used to burning that off. So if you had 6,000, you're burning back to 5. Right. But to people trying to lose weight, nutrition's it's first. You obviously got to work out. It's got to all come together.
Yep.
Let me ask you, supplements. Like what kind of supplements you would give? I'm obviously a person older 40 and a kid 18. What kind of supplements would you put, you require for those kids, a kid and then an adult?
It's kind of a slippery slope now. There's so much stuff out there. There's so many pre-workouts, post-workouts. Stuff that I use is this company called Momentous. They're out of Colorado. It's got the 4-to-1 carb-to-protein ratio for athletes that need to recover. It's got a lot of organic compounds in it. So it's a product that I'm comfortable giving kids. We do that. We use a company Designs for Health, which are GMP stamped. More of a medical grade type supplement. But multivitamins, BCAAs. You're talking 3 or 4 products. That I'm comfortable with. And then the people that are looking to go higher, I suggest getting blood work. This thing called SpectraCell where they come to your house, they do the blood work, and they tell you what you're deficient in. So, hey, you're deficient in calcium, vitamin D. So instead of just taking things you don't need, it tells you exactly. It's like a 42-page report, does your hormone levels, So that's the people that are looking, hey, I want to know exactly instead of guessing.
Isn't that more important than anything, though? Like, knowing your blood type?
You need to know
you gotta have your blood work done. Yeah. So the first thing, like he said, I don't prescribe any pre-workout drinks that you would be crazy to give a young athlete any of that. So when they go into refrigeration, try to get the monster drinks and all that stuff, it just elevates your heart rate. And it's just not
healthy.
You don't know what they're predisposed to anyway, you know. So basic protein, you're pretty much harmless unless they're allergic to that. So you have to ask. So you know, basic whey or isolate protein is good. Post workout, you know, get it back in your system. Number one recommendation you just give your clients is just basically drink more water. Drink more water. No, unless you have a nutrition background, unless you are. To me, unless you are a serious nutritionist, you shouldn't be giving any type of advice to any of these youth athletes or anything. You should have a go-to person. I have a girl named Kasha, and she's a PhD nutritionist. And for instance, today I sent Amber Sabathia to her today, Cece's wife. You know, she said, you know, I want to lose a little here and here, and I was like, no problem. This is where you got to go to, and you got to get blood work. Blood work is the only way to see what you're deficient in and what they could prescribe to you to help yourself out, you know, B12 or whatever. It's through blood work. You know, you have to get blood work. I recommend, you know, people from males from the ages of 40 and over, I say easy every 6 months at minimum once a year.
How do you, and that's important, right? So how do you give me, I'm your client, right? And all three of us your client. How do you give me a food plan without knowing my blood type? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the blood type is I would think would be or should be the first thing that we look into for ourselves, because you can tell me not to drink milk, you know what I mean, and I need milk because of my blood type. Where he don't need milk, but you're telling him to drink milk. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I know milk is no good anyway, but I'm just saying, though, I think the blood type, knowing that is very essential to helping a client or you know, athlete.
That's why I would pass you along to the nutritionist. So the nutritionist,
go see the nutritionist.
I wouldn't even tell you that. I wouldn't even have that conversation with you. I'd say, listen, man, stop eating a couple of cheeseburgers, drink some more water, right? Don't eat after 8 o'clock at night, and let's get you to the nutritionist. You tell the nutritionist, this is what I need, blah, 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 blah. She sends you for the blood test. You get the blood test back. She sits down in front of you, and she tells you exactly what you need off your blood work.
Nice.
Anything else?
Can you tell us how to put on weight, like muscle weight?
So that's a common. I mean, that's a common thing with my wrestlers. That's a common thing with my athletes. That's the first thing they say. I'm not putting on any weight. I'm not putting on any weight. And I say, double what you're eating, because you have to eat. They come to me and say, I'm eating, and then I say, for 3 days, write down everything that you're eating, and you would be mortified what they're eating. You must eat, and you must eat. That's how you put on size.
And that's how you hold on to the weight during the season? Because, you know, kids tend to lose weight going on through the season. I'm trying to figure out.
It's their output. So their output is greater during the season. Their practices are longer. It's the heat. You guys are running them. So guess what? Whatever their caloric intake was to maintain before they started practice, you need to increase their caloric intake to just maintain their size. So if they were, let's say they were a 180-pound athlete, and it took, I don't know, 2,000 calories to keep them at 180 pounds, if their output in the heat and they're practicing every day and they're burning more calories, they might have to go to 3,000 calories just to stay at the 180.
Okay.
They're also breaking down muscle fibers too. You know, it's most of the kids now they're not doing in-season maintenance programs. You know, you get the coaches saying, "I don't believe in that," which is a crazy thing because every college and every sport in America and in the whole world does in-season maintenance programs. So these kids that are not doing it are now, you know, burning more calories than they did. Now they're not strength training 2-3 days a week. So you're breaking down muscle fibers.
And they're losing muscle.
Which is their weight. You know.
See, hey, look, Mike, people don't understand. You was the guy that was behind the scenes for that Paramus Catholic run, the whole living era, the strength coach that was getting them right, keeping them legit all through the year. Can you just talk about that and how did you maintain that?
So, you know, we pretty much, I laid out a 12-month program with these kids and the coaches and, you know, even the parents. We had meetings, and at the time, you know, as I was younger in my career, I had to lay everything out. You know, and I had parents come up to me and hand me Virginia Tech's strength program. And I said, listen, I said, unless you're going to donate $80,000 and get us 10 Power X, I'll gladly run this, but we don't have this. So I laid out something that I know this team can do for 12 months, and the parents kind of all bought in. We had meal plans. I had people coming in. We had 2 or 3 physical therapists, DPTs coming to these games, practices, driving kids, doing the right thing, teaching it like a college with limited resources.
Absolutely.
So everything after that was simple. But yeah, we just the kids all believed in what we did. That was the big run, and kids actually said, "Hey, coach, we're going to run 1200s on Sunday after a game." Yeah, you're going to run it, and they believed in it. And then we lifted on Monday and Tuesday. We did the right things by them, and they realized, wow, we're actually getting stronger during the season, and we're in shape and we're winning games in the fourth quarter. So they started seeing other teams cramp up, and they're like, and I would use the motivation. They ain't working hard enough. They're cramping. You could ask the kids. If you guys ever cramp, your butt better crawl off that field because I ain't getting you. So they believed in it. So they're like, wow, we're in better shape than these guys. And these young kids have to battle is mental.
Right.
If they believe what they're doing is better than somebody else, it is. So that's what it was, man. These kids just believed in what we did.
Getting back to those programs that are handed to us from the colleges, they are handed. I get a lot of them. I got one the other day for a girl named Julia Pasante. She's a volleyball player, and I was handed her program, and we were discussing this before in the room. Most of the programs are all cookie cutter, what I call cookie cutter programs. So they'll hand the volleyball program, and if you see the baseball program, it's very similar, but the heading's changed. And I don't believe in that, So there's other facilities that I was explaining to them that have Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. This is my senior strength training, and the lacrosse kid shows up, the baseball kid shows up, the wrestler shows up, and the football player shows up, and it's the same program. And my wrestler, so I have a wrestling program, AWA, it is sports specific to what they do. They won't be training the same way a football player is training. They're not going to be training the same way a golf player is going to be training. So when sometimes I get these programs in from the colleges, it's kind of, you kind of look at them, respect it, but you kind of have to alter it to fit the needs of your client, of that particular person. So I wanted to say that before when you asked that.
Dave, tell me about your program up there, Impact Zone. What's going on up there? Because when I came up there, I see a lot happening.
Yeah.
I see it in the recovery room and all. What's going on? What y'all got going on?
So it's a
up there?
full-service fitness center. So if you're a general fitness person, like you said, just want to come in there, lose some weight, feel great, look good. You have that. You have a nutritionist on board. You could buy the regular monthly membership, and then there's also a strength component to it. There's a sports-specific component to it. There's kickboxing programs. There's boxing. There's full wrestling where Edge Wrestling rents the whole wrestling arena out. So it's a full sports complex up there. It's a pretty unique kind of situation. Open room concept. Not too many rooms. So we cater to everybody.
Okay.
Good.
Nice. No, you tell me about your tell me about your establishment. I want everybody pretty much touch on what you're doing.
And how they
we
can
gotta
find
close
you,
this out.
and how they can find you and reach you and
Right.
everything like that.
So our main location's in Paramus. It's more sports performance. We got a 360-yard run track. We got the high-speed Woodway Force and the Woodway Curve treadmills, 9 Power X, and then we have a location in Ponta Lakes, geared more towards adults, but we do have our heavy lift power lifters in there. Your best way, you can Google our locations, our email, our numbers right on there. I'm on Instagram, TNT Training NJ. We offer free trials for anyone that's interested in any of our programs, from adults to sports performance, baseball, football, you name it.
Nice. Reg, talk to me.
I'm in Teterboro, ETS, Teterboro, New Jersey. You can find us at ETS_athletes on Instagram, and also ETS Fit. Right now we have a couple fit programs going on. We have a couple fit programs going on. We have a powerlifting competition coming up the end of this month. That should be pretty nice. A rep competition. What else? And I said we have a couple youth classes.
Shout out my guy Rashid, man.
Rashid is the man. Couple youth classes, and that's about it.
Okay, so you got a couple of youth classes. Also, what about that training thing you guys do up in there with the lights off?
Oh, with the lights on.
And the music.
Sometimes we have like a little blackout party. So we black everything out. We have black lights, and we have a DJ. Lou Vega comes in, him and his wife. He come in, and DJ, and we just do a fit party under the black lights.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
DM, man, talk to me, brother. I love. Let me tell you something. I love what you create because it's guerrilla style, and we all come from that.
Bully season,
bully season, man. So talk to me about what you doing over there and how the love you create for them kids over there.
So basically, anybody that wanted to find Driven Minds, you can pretty much find me at 80 Johnson Avenue, Malcolm X Shabazz High School. I'm blessed enough to not have to have the facility, but I wish I did, had that these fine gentlemen do. But the high school kind of endorses me because I endorse the kids. And so basically, I'm there every day, Sunday to Sunday. Saturdays and Sundays are pretty much 9 to 12. My hours during the week is pretty much nonstop. Like I said, I'm there when the kids need me at the end of the day. If you wanted to follow me on pretty much all these social media avenues that I do have, you can just look for me on Facebook. I'm Driven Minds on Facebook. If you wanted to follow me on Snapchat, I'm DM Football 365. On Instagram, I'm DM Football 258. And I think it's Twitter, I'm DM258, DM Football 258. I try to pretty much get in every avenue that my kids are because it's not what you see. It's not about what you see when you're with them. It's about what they post. And so I try to make sure I'm on that avenue of the social media network because I know that my kids will live in kind of lives that I need to be real attentive to. So that's why you see I have so many type of avenues.
Nice. Appreciate it. Before Brother Lenny closes out, man, I want again, man, this was, again, another special moment for me because, again, I find that you guys are very important and, again, it's central to the kids' growth and development of getting to the next level. And I thank you guys for coming out. Continue to do what you're doing and giving back and giving out. And, Naj, you want more? You got something else to say?
No, I'm good, man. I appreciate all you guys, man. And best believe you guys are the reason that these kids are doing what they're doing and our state is heavy as it is in the sport, that we're doing at football.
Yeah, so before we close it out, man, I just want to send a message to all the viewers and the student athletes that's coming up, man. We've reached a point now where we're getting competitive with the South and turning out athletes, and the big recipe in that is the training. So I would definitely tell you, if you don't want to get left behind, because your competition, 9 out of 10, they're in somebody's gym working. You got to get with somebody. And I understand that not everybody can afford it, but shop around because, you'll find somebody that fits your financial needs or that's willing to, help you out or whatever, because these guys do a lot of things, that we would call community service as well. So, we do this. We put this platform on for the athletes in New York, New Jersey, and our region in this area to give y'all the information y'all need to be successful. So I just want to thank, Dave Palladino, Donald Massey, Mike Nunziato, and Reggie Foxworth for coming through and, sharing some of their expertise with us. I also want to let you guys know what will be coming next. We looking forward to getting out there and covering the youth, meaning the Pop Warner, the AYF, the rec leagues, the PAL, man. We looking forward to bringing y'all into this, covering the big games coming, the rivalries, the different, the Orange Bengals, Brick City Lions, East Orange Jaguars, the Hornets, Watchung Hills, man. Getting all of these kids involved. Silk City, Montclair's League, man. ASG. Hudson County Dolphins. Like, there's so many out there, man. So many trainers, so many avenues. We just going to try to bring y'all everything that's New York, New Jersey sports and give y'all that knowledge to have you on the cutting edge of where this thing is headed. Thank y'all for keeping it a buck with us, man. We see you next week.